Hello there. Welcome to the UPLC-II Managing Configuration Files training video. Today we will be covering the following topics: loading a customer configuration file, loading a standard default configuration file, saving a configuration XML file, and finally, saving a configuration report file. At the end of this video, we will provide phone and email contact information if you have any further questions. The words settings and configuration files will be used interchangeably at times in our videos. For the remainder of this video, I will say UPLC, but this will encompass both UPLC and UPLC-II unless noted. Now we will cover how to load a customer configuration file. On the main menu, select Settings, then select the Load Save Configuration tab. From here, you can load a configuration. You would use this typically if your company or yourself has created a company-specific standard configuration file and you want to load it into a UPLC. Select Browse. Select the Company X on-off configuration. Press Open, then press the Load Configuration. You will get a pop-up window that states that this may take several minutes. Press OK to continue or cancel. The time to load a configuration file varies depending on your connection type, Ethernet being the fastest and USB RS-232 being the slowest. All times shown in this video are for an Ethernet connection over a local area network. Now that the configuration file has loaded, you will notice that there is a red bar at the top of the window which states Changes Pending. You will also notice that even though the settings reflect an on-off directional comparison, the menu on the left and the home page still reflect an FSK 2-frequency direct transfer trip. This means that the settings have been changed on the web page but have not been loaded into the connected UPLC. To program the settings into the connected UPLC, you will need to go to the Submit tab and press the Submit Changes button. If you do not want to program the UPLC and want to go back to the original connected UPLC settings, press the Discard Changes button, which is what we will do here. You will get a pop-up window asking if you want to discard settings. Press OK. Now the settings reflect the current settings of the connected UPLC. If you get this message, you are not authorized to perform this action when trying to press the Load Save Configuration tab. This is due to being not logged in as a user or super user. You have to have user privileges to change settings. Our UPLC-II webpage basics training video covers how to add users. If this is your first time dealing with UPLC, and you do not have a configuration file to load, you may use one of the standard default configurations to get started. To access the configuration file, press the Settings button and go to the Load Save Configuration tab. Here, we can select from a list of standard configurations: on-off directional comparison, phase comparison, FSK phase comparison, 2-frequency unblocking, 2-frequency permissive overreaching transfer trip, 2-frequency direct transfer trip, 3-frequency, and 4-frequency FSK. We will select the on-off directional comparison, press the Config System button. We get a pop-up window saying that you must submit these settings if you wish them to be activated. You will now see the red Change Pending bar at the top. What this means is that when I load the configuration, the settings have been changed in the web page, but have not been programmed into the connected UPLC. You may now modify the settings, such as transmit frequency, bandwidth, IL assignments, etc., for your specific application. Then you will need to go to the Submit tab and press the Submit Changes button to program the connected UPLC. Next, we are going to show you how to save your software settings as an XML file for later use, so you may copy them into another UPLC. This is how you would make a backup for a specific UPLC or a default company configuration file. Only the current web page settings, which include pending changes, are saved, not the current settings of the connected UPLC. Now that we have settings that have changed, we are going to save them to an XML file. Go to Settings, and then the Load Save Configuration tab. On the right side of the page is the Save Configuration button. Make sure XML is selected and press the Save Configuration. You should get a pop-up window that reads, "Do you want to open or save a UPLC config from the IP number of the connected UPLC?" Go to Save, and under the pull-down, select Save As. The default name is UPLC config. You can name the configuration file whatever you want. Regardless of the name you use, you will need to add an .xml extension to the file, or it will not work when you try to reload the configurations file for later. If you have a configuration file already saved without the XML extension, you can manually add the .xml to the file from Windows Explorer. For this example, we will call it Ametek on-off DC standard.xml. Press Save. The pop-up will now read the Ametek on-off DC standard XML download has completed. We can close the window by pressing the X and then press Continue. You will notice that even though we saved the XML file, the Changes Pending bar is still active, meaning that we saved the file, but we have not actually programmed the connected UPLC. If, when you press the Save Configuration button, you do not get a Save pop-up window, check to make sure that you disable all pop-up blockers or add the UPLC IP address to the trusted sites. Additionally, to get around this, usually you can first hold down the Control key on your computer before clicking on the Save Configuration button, and keep the Control key down until you see a pop-up window asking where you want to save your settings file. Then you can release the Control key and continue as normal. If you want to change Internet Explorer settings to prevent this, so you do not have to hold down the Control key, then you will need to change the Internet Explorer download settings. Click on the Internet Explorer browser Tools button, which should be in the upper right hand corner of the browser window. Then in the drop-down menu, click on Internet Options. In an Internet Options dialog box, click on the Security tab and then click on the Custom Level button at the bottom. Scroll down the list until you find a heading called Downloads. For XP and Windows 7, make sure the selection Automatic Prompting for File Downloads is enabled. Likewise, File Download should be enabled for XP, Windows 7, and Windows 10. If you cannot enable these buttons, see your system administrator. Finally, we are going to show how to save a configuration report file. The report file differs from the XML configuration file in that it is a text file that reports all of the connected UPLC settings, options, and conditions. The XML configuration file contains just the software settings found in the web page, including pending changes. Go to the Load Save Configuration tab, select Report File, and press the Save Configuration button. You will get a pop-up alerting you that the report file cannot be used to upload settings. Press OK. A new browser window will be created that will have the UPLC configuration report. As you can see, it has the connected UPLC information, then the current settings and states, both hardware jumpers and software for each settings tab. General, Logic, Input Output, Trip Test Settings, check back if in on off, and finally, Installed Catalog Options. Since the report file shows the current states of the UPLC, receiver sensitivity, transmit receive state, current margin, current receive level, current transmit power, and current reflected power, this is a perfect as-left document, so that if the site is checked later, any changes or communication degradation can be easily identified. Select File, Save As, change the name, perhaps the substation line or the identifier of the connected UPLC, keeping the .txt extension. Now press Save and exit the window. Press Continue. That is it for this training session. I hope you found this session informative. If you have any questions regarding UPLC or UPLC-II, please contact us at the following phone numbers or email. The sales email may be used to contact Ametek for quotes or ordering new equipment. The repair email may be used to contact Ametek for repair of existing equipment. And the applications email may be used to contact Ametek concerning product setup or system applications. You may also go to our website for further information. This link may be found in the video description below.